You and Joe had a bunch of conversations, and they're always incredible.
Thanks.
So, in terms of this dance of conversation, of your friendship, of when you get together, like what is that world you go to that creates magic together? Because we're talking about how we do that with robots. How do
Yeah.
these two biological robots do that? Can you introspect that?
I met Joe because I was the talent coordinator of the Comedy Store, this club in LA, and my job was to take phone calls from comics. And so, at some point, I don't know, I ended up on the phone with Joe, and we just started talking. And I looked up and like 30 minutes had passed. We just been talking for like 30 minutes. That's what how friends are. We're just like, we're having fun talking. And then he would just call and we would talk. And we would basically, it was no different from the podcast. Like the conversations we have on the podcast are identical to the conversations we had before he was even doing a podcast. So I think people are just seeing two friends hanging out who like talking to each other.
Yeah, but there's this weird, like you serve as catalyst for each other to go into some crazy places. So it's like it's a balance of curiosity and willingness to not be constrained, to not be limited to the constraints of reality.
Yeah, that
in your exploration.
That's a very nice way. That's a very, very nice way of saying that.
And you just like build on top of each other, like what if things are like this? And you build like Lego blocks on top of each other, and it just goes to crazy places. Add some drugs into that, and it just goes wild.
Yeah, and he like it's so cool because it's like it's a for me it's like a really like sometimes maybe I'll throw something out that he will take, and the Lego building blocks you're talking about, they lead to him saying like the funniest shit I ever in my life. So that's a cool thing to watch. It's just like some idea you've been kicking around. You watch his brain shift that into like something supremely funny.
Yeah.
I really love that, man. That's just like a fun thing to like see happen. He knows that I fucking hate the videos of animals eating each other. Like, I don't like that. I don't want to watch it. I hate watching it. I don't think I've even articulated on his podcast how much I dislike it when he shows animals eating each other. But he knows because he knows me. And so he tortures. Like when he starts doing that, it's like this kind of benevolent torture as he's like asking Jamie to pull up increasingly disturbing animal attack videos. So it's just a friendship.
Even in torture, because I'm reading about torture in the Gulag Archipelago currently. There's a bit of a camaraderie. You're in it together. The torturer and the tortured.
What? Oh God, that's so fucked up, man. I've never.
No, I mean part of it was joke, but as I was saying it, that
you're right.
That also comes out in the book because they're both fucked. They're both have no control of their fate. That's the same was true in the camp guards in Nazi Germany and the people in the camps. The worst was brought out in the guards, but they were all in it together in some dark way. They're both fucked by a very powerful system that put them in that place. Yeah. And both of us could be either player in that system, which is the dark reality that Solzhenitsyn also reveals, that the line between good and evil runs through the heart of every man, as he wrote in Gulag Archipelago. But it is that amidst all of that, there's I don't know, the good vibes, the positivity comes out from the both of you. And that's beautiful to see. That is, I suppose, friendship. What do you think makes a good friend?
Oh God, I mean, it's a billion things that make a good friend. But I think you could break it down to some RGB. I think you can go RGB with like a good friendship.
In terms of the color, the red, green.
Yeah. I think you could probably come up with some like fundamental qualities of friendship. And I'd say, number one, it's love. Like friendship is love. It's a form of love. So obviously without that, I don't know how I'm not saying, I think if you're true friends, you love each other. So you need that. But love, obviously that's not enough. It's like with, true friends have to be like incredibly honest with each other, and not like, you know what I mean? But not like, I don't like I think there's a kind of like, I don't know if you've ever noticed like some people who say, I just tell it like it is.
Yeah.
But the thing
those are always the assholes.
Yeah. Why is it that your tell it like it is always negative? Why is it it's always cynical or shitty, or you're like negging somebody or me? How come you're not telling it like it is when it's good too?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So sort of like trust, but a pro evolutionary kind of trust. You know what I mean? Like, that your friend loves you and wants you to be yourself. Because if you weren't yourself, then you wouldn't be their friend. You'd be some other thing. But also, they might be seeing your blind spots that other people in your life, your family, your wife, your whoever, might not be seeing.
Yeah.
So that's a good friend, is someone who like loves you enough to, when it matters, be like, hey, are you all right? And then help you see something you might not be seeing. But hopefully they only do that once or twice a year. It's
there's something. I mean, it's just what I've. This world, especially if you're a public figure, this world has its plenty of critics, and it feels like a friend. The criticism part is already done for you. I think a good friend is just there to support, to actually notice the good stuff.
But in comedy, we need like it's really good in comedy to have someone you can like be like, what do you think of that? Yeah. And know that they're not going to be like, that was
But that's
funny.
for the craft itself, like the work you do, not the interesting, but that's so tough.
Yeah, whatever your particular art form or whatever you are doing. I mean, you don't want to always be leaning on your friends' opinions for like your own innovation, but it's nice to know that you have someone who, not just with jokes, but with anything, if you go to them and run something by them, they're going to like, they're going to be honest with you about like their real feelings regarding that thing, because that helps you grow as a person. We need that. And it hurts sometimes. And we don't want to hurt our friends. One of the more satanic like impulses when you're with somebody is not wanting to honestly answer whatever they're asking in that regard, or wanting to like put their temporary feelings over something that you've recognized as maybe not great. I'm not saying a friendship is something where you're always critiquing or evolving each other. It's not your therapist or whatever, but it's nice when it's there. I think that's another aspect of friendship.
Yeah, but love is at the core of that. You notice, I've met people in my life where almost immediately, sometimes it takes time, where you notice like there's a magic between the two of you. Like, oh shit, you seem to be made from the same cloth.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
Well, we have a name for that in the spiritual community. It's called satsang. And I love the idea. It's basically like if Nietzsche's idea of infinite recurrence is true, then your satsang would be the people you've been infinitely recurring with. And those are the people where when you run into them and you've never met them, but it's like you're picking up a conversation that you never had. And that is based on an idea of like, this isn't the only life. We're always hanging out together. We always show up together.